Hello, and welcome to What Am I Rolling? A twice-monthly RPG one-shot podcast, hosted by me, Fiona. This is part 2 of our Salvage Union one-shot, so make sure you've listened to the first part before continuing on with this episode. To briefly recap, David, Ben, Viv and Rob are playing a ragtag team of mech pilots who make ends meet by salvaging scrap within a post-apocalyptic wasteland. Currently, our team have detected a crashed Corpo air transport ship belonging to Atychos Industries. Atychos Industries specialises in experimental heavy mech and weaponry, which means that this transport is likely holding some quality salvage. The transport carrier has crashed in the midst of a ruined city once known as Hope Falls, and our team have ranged out on their mechs to get their hands on some quality salvage. However, there are going to be many interested parties in this salvage, so our team need to get in there, get the salvage and get out of there as fast as possible. Remember, when a player declares an action and there is an uncertain, risky or potentially interesting outcome, they roll a d20. On a 20, the player has nailed it. They have overcome the odds and managed an outstanding success, may even achieve an additional bonus of their choice to an action. On an 11 to 19, they've gained a success. Player has achieved their goal without any compromises. On a 6 to 10, the player has achieved a tough choice. They have succeeded in their action, but at a cost. The mediator will give them a tough choice to make, with some kind of consequence. On a 2 to 5, they have achieved a failure. The player has failed at what they're attempting, and they face a consequence of the mediator's choice. And a natural 1 is a cascade failure. The player has failed completely, and something has gone terribly wrong. The player suffers a consequence of the mediator's choice. Once per turn, players can push their mechs to squeeze out additional power. When they push, they may re-roll a d20 and accept the second result of the die. Pushing a mech comes at a cost. After the push roll, players must add 2 heat to their mech and then roll a d20. If the result is equal to or under the heat level, the mech reactor has overloaded, and then the player must roll on the reactor overload table to see what happens. Similarly, once per turn, players can also push their pilots to get additional reserves out of them. And similarly, pushing pilots comes at a cost, in terms of adding 2 stress to the pilot, rolling a d20, and then rolling on the stress overload table if that result is equal to or under the pilot's stress level. There are ways to vent heat and to release stress, which I talk about later on the stream. However, if you want to know more about these rules, you can download the free Quickstart guide from the Salvage Union Kickstarter, which has all the rules we use in this one-shot, as well as the scenario we play, the downing of the Atychos. As you may have guessed it, this one-shot is a little bit different to our previous one-shots, as I ran it live for the Drunken Storytellers podcast on their Twitch channel. This episode's audio was taken from that live stream and only edited slightly to take out the midstream breaks. You can watch the original unedited stream on the Drunken Storytellers YouTube channel, which I'll put a link to in this episode's show notes. A massive thank you to the Drunken Storyteller podcast for allowing me to run this particular one-shot on their Twitch channel. The Drunken Storyteller is a podcast where David, who plays Blackjack the Hacker in this episode's one-shot, explores the world's myths, legends and stories, all whilst having a few drinks. If you're interested in deep dives into folklore, then I highly recommend checking out this podcast. We're planning a few more RPG live streams in the new year, so keep your eyes peeled for those. One last thing before we begin. Naturally, there are times in this one-shot where the players and myself, most of myself, get the rules wrong or forget something plot-wise. Whilst we always endeavour to stick to the rules wherever possible, at the end of the day, we all make mistakes. And what matters most is that everyone enjoys themselves. So, with all that out of the way, let's play Salvage Union. And we're back. Thank you for continuing to stay with us and for joining us. So, as we've seen, our ragtag team of mech pilots have easily defeated some outlaws, saved a caravan, and frightened a group of wastelanders who were just trying to hide. But they have got some salvage. They've got the engine to the ship that has sort of crashed itself over the city of Hope Falls. They are now making their way to the big plaza, essentially. But to do so, they have to go past this lake area. And you can see as you're sort of trousing all the way through, I think almost like it opens up onto one side where you can see this lake, but you're easily able to get past it. But looking at it itself, the lake itself is almost like a horrid tar black again. Decades of being out into the radiated desert, you can see there's various sort of plops of bubbles and stuff like that. But at the center of it, you can see there looks to be like another bit of salvage from the ship. It's sort of like out of it, it sort of pokes out about maybe a foot or two with a sort of green glowing light on it that's slowly blinking into being. But what you can see is at the corners of this lake itself, you can see another group of wastelanders and another mech itself, which is slowly starting to wade its way into the waters to try and retrieve this salvage. Looking at them, they all seem to have some sort of uniform of some sort, and they've got various sort of numbers on the back of them. And they see you, but they're too busy, but they're not doing anything. Like, look, they're keeping an eye on you essentially, but they're going towards whatever this salvaged part is. What would you like to do?
Can we make them pick it up and bring it to us?
Yeah, are they Corpo uniforms?
They are not Corpo uniforms. It's a sort of a mishmash of sort of blue overalls essentially, but they're definitely not Corpo at all. There's definitely I'd say there's about maybe 15, 20 of them, and so they're all sort of there, and with the big mech as well.
There's only one mech.
One mech, yes.
I want to Trojan it.
I say we move on.
Yeah, like they're doing nothing wrong. Leave them to it. Yeah, leave them to it. Like
I was going to make them bring. I was going to take control of the mech, and it would just think it's picking it up, but then it would just bring it to us, drop it off, no fight, and we just leave that way.
No, I'd say we just leave them completely alone and move on beyond it. Anyway,
if they were Corpos, I'd agree.
Yeah.
Or if they're just other salvages, they were there first.
Yeah, salvage claim. Whoever got here first. Plus, technically, by the laws of nautical salvage, it's been in water, which means they get first dibs.
Good shout. How many waves from land? Fiona, how many waves from land is it, please? Can we?
Yeah, sure. It's definitely 3 big movements through the water, essentially.
It's good enough. It's good enough.
So it's international waters, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yes, of Hope Falls, yes.
Hey, when there are no more nations, every water is international water.
That means there are no laws. That means salvage rights don't apply.
So you're leaving these wastelands.
I think we leave them.
It's just
We already had
you're
chat say,
wasting
"Are we the
good
bad guys
salvage
once
money
today?"
here, people.
Easy enough. So you continue along your way, and as you do so, sort of turn a corner, you can see there are 2 other smaller mechs. These ones look very, very scrappy, so again, with their sort of lasers pointed at you. So you think you were sort of keeping an eye on to see what you're doing. But could somebody roll for me a D20 to see, because you didn't interact with these wastelanders, so what did they do?
I'm not touching a dice.
Yeah.
I can do it.
Anyone but Blackjack.
Yeah,
go for it, Commodore.
17.
Hey, nice.
That's my best roll yet.
Yeah, and you wasted
Not
it on
even
some
for us. God
NPCs.
Did we waste it, or were we part of the ecosystem?
Right, by not interfering, they succeeded on taking out what was in the lake. So there you go, and so that is that. But
there we go.
You move on through the city itself, and
I give them a honk on the way past, just as a sort of acknowledgement.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we've just been reminded that possession is 9/10 of the law, but a railgun is the final 1/10. So yeah, we had a railgun, everybody.
Okay. You hear on the static on your comms module, Commodore. You hear a thank you kindly. Good day. Fantastic. So you slowly but surely make your way into the central plaza. And here you can see it is wide open. There used to be like a very small manicured sort of park perhaps, but obviously at this point it's all been sort of taken over by I'd say like a cargo bit of some sort. Basically it's just shoved into the ground. Bits of trees and stuff are everywhere. But the main thing that you see is there are 2 mechs here next to this cargo thing. These ones you do recognize. They definitely have Corpo logos on them. And as you sort of make your way into this plaza, probably fan out a little bit so you're not all in a line behind each other, looking very imposing. You see, let me just find it. That is, how many of those are there?
you have two sort of bigger sort of mechs per se. One of them has what looks like almost like a dragon tattoo over one of the sort of windshield sort of thing, looking very, very cool. And the other one has what looks like on one side of it, like over like not the eyebrow of the mech, but looks like just essentially like a set of muscles looking super strong, like sort of crouched up like this. And across you and behind them you have and then two other sort of smaller sort of mechs behind them who look like they're again on lookout, but we're looking out on the opposite way in case things were coming in. So you have 4 mechs in total, 2 sort of more bigger, heftier ones that are examining and analysing whatever this cargo thing is, and 2 smaller ones at the back.
Before we even go into any combat and think about this, I want to hack them and pick up their systems and find out who they are and what they're doing.
Okay.
I'm going to do some information gathering.
Perfect. Well, you do that in a second. So Socrates, you do recognise them. They it says Corpo on their sort of things, and you know that they are from the Eventist Industries, essentially. So you do get that. But Blackjack, you are more than welcome to do your information gathering. So
I want to basically know what they're doing, what information they're gathering from this. So it's actually Blackjack's ability, but I can use it through Mantis. So I can spend energy points instead of action points, ability points to do this.
Fabulous. Yeah,
it's called Database Hacker. As an action, you are able to hack into a database or information system in close range. How far away are they?
Yeah, I'd say you're within close range. You've just come into this thing. There's 4 of you, and it's it's a big plaza space, but there's now 8 mechs in it, so you're all within very close distance to each other.
It's a little bit crowded.
Yeah.
I can gain specific information about it and the wider network it is connected to.
Okay.
When activated, you may ask 3 questions about it, and the mediator will tell you true answers.
Great. So so spend the points, whichever ones from that. Which ones are you spending?
I am going to spend. I don't want to get out my mech. There's people here, and there's
you shouting across like, "Who are you?
Screw that!
What do you do?" Yeah,
I've got to go and touch them. He's like, no, I'm going to do this through the computer. I'm going to spend my energy points because I've got a lot of those.
Yep.
So I've not even spent half of them yet, so that's good.
Good. It's not like there's a big fight coming up or anything.
No, it's fine. It's all good.
This is why I want to find everything out and find the weak
points
points
as possible as well before it all kicks off. Just because I want to use one of my new toys.
Perfect. We'll get to you in a second, hopefully, but that's totally cool. All right. So what?
It doesn't say any dice rolling or anything. So do you want me to roll the d20?
If there's no dice rolling, I think because you spend the points for it, it just happens. That's what I believe that happens in Quest. I'm sure the chat will prove me wrong if not, but I just think rule of cool, and we've only got a bit of short time. So what are the questions you want to ask? It's 3 questions, was that?
It was 3 questions.
And they have to be truthful.
Yes, you have to answer them truthfully. This is not Trojan.
This is my truthful face.
It's not well, actually.
You don't so what's your first question?
So we know that they're Corpo, yeah?
Yeah, it's fairly obvious from the sort of insignia emblazoned on their mech.
So, what? Let me phrase this well. What is it? What information do they have about the salvage thing that they're analysing?
Okay, so you tap into the database and you sort of matrix style, I'm in, and you get the code coming up, and you can see that the team itself are looking into the crash of the ship, and you can see that their mission currently is to retrieve active meld nanites. That is the sort of current goal. It's flashing at the top of the screen.
Active meld nanites.
Yeah, nanites even. Sorry.
Nits, as in. This is just like it's robotic nits that crawl around in your head. And
nanites, as in the small microcomputers that are able to.
No. Fiona said nits.
Yes,
they're little head lice, robotic head lice.
It's my world. Yes, it is. It is active meld nits, essentially. Nan nits. Yeah, that's what I said.
I was going to say, are they useful? Next one, are they useful?
Is that your second question? My truthful face.
Have they got their weapons armed?
Yeah, no, I'm just trying to think of ways to phrase this to get as much information out of one question as possible, basically.
Would you like a who's in charge versus
No,
who do we have to beat up to?
Who? Yeah, who would
the rest
be
of them to surrender?
Who has the most damaging weapons?
Ooh, interesting. Let me look at my notes.
Basically, who am I gonna send Socrates after first?
So yeah, again, I'm in, and you can see it sort of flashes up, and the two smaller mechs at the side, they're definitely more support, perhaps. So they're on lookout, although they're turning around to sort of aim towards you. And so the two sort of slightly bigger mechs, there's one that had like almost like a dragon over its eye, but the more impressing fact is that you see this one which comes up on your screen as the gladiator. It definitely looks like it's armed to the teeth. It's got at least it's got a very similar weapon pattern to what Commodore has.
Okay. And question number 3. Because I can't. There's things I want to do to it, but this is actually asking questions, not actually doing things to it.
Can Blackjack ask for things like access codes that would make something like their Trojan easier to use on it?
No, because that's I would. The way I would say this is the way that the game works is you don't get any bonuses to your dice rolls, so that wouldn't make any difference.
It's more information about stuff.
Yeah.
So,
You asked them which one wants to die first.
Yeah, Gladiator needs to die first.
Well, we know that.
No, which one wants to die first is a different question.
Which one has
a? Are there any reinforcements around that we can't see?
Ooh, that's a great question. Great question. Again, tapping into the thing, finding the last bit before your sort of signal goes out. It looks like no. It looks like this was their salvage force that's just been sent out. But you are aware that they could call for backup, but it doesn't seem to be any within the vicinity around you.
Right.
So, yeah.
Does anyone have jamming capabilities in our group?
I'll check that maybe.
So just before we go into anything else, Flea, you said you were moving.
I'm trying to get as close as possible to, on the guise of sort of looking very unassuming. I want to get as close as I can to probably the dragon one, the most threatening looking one. Just as a kind of, I'm just passing by. I'm a little salvage mech. Don't worry about me. Kind of thing, just like do. My fake hand is like going. The robot hand is like going.
Peeling the dragon vinyl off this.
Yoink, put that over there. It makes me go faster. I love that.
No, we don't apply orc logic to this game.
I'm fully being as unassuming as possible as I approach.
Fantastic.
I surreptitiously communicate to Commodore and Socrates. You go, get the one with the fucking muscles on it first before it blows us up.
Flea, as you're sort of making your way, all of your transmissions and communication modules spring into life, and you hear, hello there, this is Sergeant Baines of the retrieval team. We are here to take care of salvage. We see that you may be here for some bits of yourself. We would like you to move on your way. Please retreat, and we won't. This doesn't have to end in violence. Thank you. End of transmission.
Sorry, my robot. I lost some bits on Mantis. I can't retreat. It doesn't have the ability to go backwards. Someone took my fan, and it's just kind of ruined everything. I can't go backwards. I'm going to have to go through. Is that okay?
There's a pause.
Tell me,
pregnant pause.
Sergeant, what side of the Colonial War did you fight on?
Repeat of message. We are here to retrieve bits of our ship that has fallen on the city. Your presence here has been noted. You have until 5, the count of 5. Otherwise, we will open fire.
presence has been noted. It doesn't necessarily mean they've sent off call signs or anything like that yet. Are we doing this?
I've already told you which ones to hit, so fucking shoot him.
I'm asking the group. I'm not going to just start opening up, because if I choose to open up, I'm going to take my stims and then open up, because then you'll get to see how much damage the soldier can potentially really do. But I want to know if we're doing this, because if I do this, I only have 2 action points left. That's it. So
well,
if we're doing
take
this,
him out. If you two can take him out, I can try and maybe control another one to take out some of the smaller ones. I don't know. But yeah, we're doing it.
Okay, right. We're doing this.
Yeah, let's do it.
Fiona, I'm going to sort of seeing this and noting that the sergeant didn't answer my question, because I imagine that Brawler especially has a flag of one of the colonial powers, spray painted onto the shoulder part.
Oh, yeah.
Noting that the sergeant expressly didn't, and then actually made a very open threat about this situation. Socrates sort of flicks a switch, and the entire cabin just pressurizes and mists as I pump my stims. So I'm going to roll. It cost me 2 action points.
Yep.
I'm going to roll a d20.
Yep.
So I got a 15, which means for the next 10 minutes, I act twice in a turn.
What? Okay.
If I'd got a 20, I would have been acting 3 times a turn for the next 10 minutes.
Fab. All right, so it sounds like it's go time then. All right, so it is time for combat. Narratively, I am going to pick Socrates to go first, because you sort of have done the initiate action. So you can do, according to your stims, you can do 2 actions or act twice, and a move as well. So what would you like to do?
Oh, I am going to immediately, as a free action, I'm going to pop my pinpoint targeter.
You don't have enough energy points for that.
I have enough energy points for this. I have enough to do these things. I have currently got spent 1 energy point.
Oh yeah, so your action points you don't have. Sorry.
Yeah, it's my action points I don't. Yeah. But it doesn't take my action points to do this in my mech, because it says the effects will apply to my mech, but not that I can use energy points to do so if it does. So I will. Can I take multiple free actions in a turn? Is what I need to know.
For the sake of it, sure, why not? We're trying this new system for the first time, so let's see how it goes.
Yeah, I'm going to pop my pinpoint targeter and my multi-targeting, and if I was to combo those, multi-targeting lets me make an attack with each of my things that are appropriate. And pinpoint targeting means that I get to target specific systems or modules on a mech or appendage on a creature, roll to hit if normal, and if I hit, that appendage is destroyed on top of damage being dealt as normal.
Okay.
So if I'm comboing these correctly, I would get to make 3 attacks targeting 3 systems, dealing damage as normal, but also potentially destroying 3 systems. So I would like to target the weapons system on Gladiator. I will fire my missile pod, because there's one next to him as well, which is a big beefy guy as well, I believe.
The sort of wyvern.
And then I will shoot a system with my auto cannon. I will move up to engage with my anthropomorphic arms, and then I will try and pull a 3rd one off potentially, basically.
Great. So let's take it all in one go. So
waiting for your second action.
Yeah.
That's what we're gonna. I can do this twice.
Okay. Do it. Right. So, go on.
It costs you for each weapon you fire. It costs you 1 for
1
multi-tracking.
energy point per weapon fired. Yeah. So I've got enough to do this, and then I can do my normal attacks. So.
All right. Do it.
Yeah. So let's see.
You could fire your ejector seat as well, just for the fun of it.
I'm out of here.
I'm coming for you.
So it's a 10 on the missile pod.
Okay, that is a tough choice.
Yeah.
Cool. But you do hit though. So what's the damage? And I'll give you the tough choice.
There's 3 points of damage to the person I targeted, If I hit, the system is destroyed.
Okay.
And the damage is dealt, and I deal 1 additional point of damage to the person next to him, which is the wyvern.
Yep.
And then the tough choice you'd like me to make?
Yes, give me a second. Sorry, I'm just making notes. The wyvern takes that damage. Yeah, tough choice. I will. Where's it gone? It's like page 56, I think it is. Consequences. There we go. I love that. Obviously, there's different tables for different things or different choices of things. I love how their environment shifts, and it says as a disease begins to spread. Ooh, you get shingles in your mech.
I think it's a depleted uranium.
Oh no! Very true.
Oh, that should not have fallen out.
Yeah, oh god, that arm wasn't there a minute ago.
Okay, the tough choice is that one of your weapons jams, as you've just gone essentially, or that you hit the sort of the cargo that is damaging it, because you're damaging the 2 mechs next to it that also were analyzing this cargo, but you could damage this cargo.
What's the impact of jamming my missile pods? Is that going to be jammed in operational for 10 minutes?
It will be till the next turn.
Okay,
that's a tough choice I'm doing.
I'll jam the missile pod for now then.
Fantastic, great. So you just hold, sort of goes off, and then you're like, oh god damn it. So
also cannon. That is a 15.
Is a success.
And then moving forward up, anthropomorphic arms.
So who are you hitting with the
all 3 are going on gladiator, because that was the one we identified was the nastiest system, and I'm destroying their weapon systems with each of these.
Fantastic.
It has a railgun, I'm guessing.
Maybe. Go on.
That's actually what it had.
So it took that damage as well. Yep.
Yeah. And then
so it's just taken 6 points of damage, and it's
still standing.
Cool.
6 points of damage, and then anthropomorphic arms.
Okay.
That is. I wish this was on something different, but it's still on this one.
Oh, you've lost the kitty.
That is a natural. Come on, you swine.
Swine.
20.
It's a natural 1.
Natural
12. 9.
Natural
13.
17.
Let's keep guessing.
And can we see that?
No. What is it, Ben?
It's a natural 20.
Fantastic. So describe
again, devil's own luck.
So describe what the mech does to sort of like deal this damage.
I think it's this moment of like I think this name means something to Socrates. I think because it was Sergeant something, wasn't it?
Sergeant Baines.
Baines. I think
is he the bane of your existence?
I think it's a flashback moment to Socrates, or face bloodied, jaw ruined. They're crawling out of their mech as on the opposite side of these colonial wars, this force, like that mech blare that they do just goes out, and there's like a flash of cannonade fire from all these this massive war zone, and this shattered radio that's barely working is on the enemy frequency, and it's just going Sergeant Baines to base, Sergeant Baines to base, and flash back to the moment, and I'm running on Sims right now, so I'm like at 11. I'm wrathful. Everything has gone from Socrates' mind, all peace, all ease, and it's just charging forward. The missiles, fire out. I see the jam thing, slam the fist into it, and as I slam the fist, the gun immediately goes off from the position in, smashing through one of the weapon systems. But the gun is no longer even in Socrates' mind. It mag connects to the leg as Socrates runs and just dives onto Gladiator, and he's just pulling parts of it off. There's no punching, there's no tactic to this. It's literally a foot on an arm and a yank as the entire arm wielding whatever comes off.
Yeah. Absolutely. It is a frantic sort of like in and out sort of thing. And you manage to topple over this mech, and you're just starting pulling bits out, and everyone else can see that the escape hatch opens, and a very beaten, battered, bloodied sort of Sergeant Baines is crawling out. You can see one of his legs is indeed broken as he sort of makes his way and tries to duck behind some of the rubble in the thing. But you have defeated the gladiator mech.
And then I will turn on the Wyvern one, and again these arms, and just this entire time, the comm system is open. I don't really have like a blaring horn style thing like Commodore, but you can just hear screaming, just this rage-filled screaming.
Flee. Get him off again. He's done it again. Just grab and pull him away. He'll calm down eventually.
Okay. And that's a 12 for the arms
success
on the next one.
And how much damage is that?
So that's another 3 points of damage to it.
So yeah, you go in, and it goes turn it, and the wyvern is it brings up its arms to try and stop it, and you're sort of digging into it. It's still standing, but it's taken a bit of a hit. Who would you like to go next?
Commodore,
it's your turn, my friend. So you've seen this gladiator just been taken down. The wyvern is sort of locked, sort of toe-to-toe, mech speaking with Socrates, and you see the two other smaller mechs rounding round, and this cargo. What would you like to do, Commodore?
I have an ability to potentially end this straight away.
Do it.
Depending on how we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
This is my move that's called Let's Make a Deal.
Excellent.
You make a deal with a group of local traders, corpos, or anyone else willing. This lets you make an engagement with them. This could be for aid, healing, use of their facilities or anything appropriate. You must give them something of real value to you as part of the deal, such as salvage or significant help.
Okay.
And I'm just
to you or to them?
I'm just gonna open the comms channel and being like, "Oh yeah, sorry, he gets like this sometimes, but don't worry about it, honey bun. We can pull him off if we feel inclined to. But it's just that perhaps if you would want to give us their what is it, nanets, I think, just from a glance from what I've heard, we can go and grab our mate, stop him from brutally murdering all of you, and then we get what we want, which is the salvage, and you get what you want, which is being alive.
I love it. I also like the fact that you could use their facilities as if just could I possibly use your bathroom? Brilliant. So what points do you have to spend for that?
One action point.
All right, one ability point. So yes, if you spend that for me, and I will ask you to make a roll for this.
Okay.
So other things happening, even though you do that, and we can go from that. But there is some more to this.
But a 6, another 6.
Cool.
Rolling
Good to know.
Push yourself.
Yeah.
Push yourself.
Push yourself before you wreck yourself. Yes.
Let's push myself.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
That's it. So you're pushing it's your pilot, yes?
Yes.
Yeah, because that's the ability. So you add 2 stress to yourself, but we'll roll the push first, see what you get.
Yeah. 17.
17. So that is a success. So we'll add the 2 stress to you, and then we'll roll for the stress.
Yeah, I'll probably just say something. The stressful thing is probably like Socrates getting like this, right? Like
a constant,
just the constant scream in your ear from the comms.
I'm used to you can mute the comms is one thing, but it's just like this
Socrates,
guy was...
Socrates is louder than the comms, but you turn off the comm, it's still there.
Wow. Is the stress thing just another D20?
It's another D20, and you got to, if you roll equal to or the bad things happen.
Cool. I have 2. I rolled a 1.
Oh
no!
Well, that's
can you
exciting.
push the stress roll?
No, you can only push once per turn.
But if you roll a 20, you get into a flow state. So just roll a 20. Come on.
Yeah. So easy enough. So so you say what you want to say, and you're doing sort of like, and you're, okay. You push yourself, and you can hear sort of like, okay, we'll just, but it's getting over the stuff, and you are getting so stressed out because once again Socrates has just gone in guns blazing, and you sort of like, and you go into a catatonic, unresponsive state, unable to move or take any actions. You regain your composure in about 10 minutes, and your stress will reduce to 0. So currently you're just like you're just like indecisive because you said this thing, and now you're like, but I don't know if I can stop him, all that sort of thing. So all that's going around in your head just now. With that, Commodore, who is going in next? Is it going to be one of the mechs, or is it going to be one of your friends?
Using a lot of pointy, wavy hands.
Yeah,
So,
I think they're all pointing at Fiona.
let's pass it over to Flea.
All right,
Thanks.
Flea, what are you doing, my friend?
My finger's going to slip and I'm going to accidentally mining laser the guy who crawled out the hatch.
Thank you.
So do you want to describe what a mining like? So you're doing that.
So it's a
you're hitting-
pulse laser. It's a laser battery designed to fire a rapid series of pulses at target to break up rocks. But because I'm using a mech weapon on a person, it does double the damage.
Double damage.
So yeah,
let's hope you hit.
I'm just like, oh, what's that? And then knock a switch.
Yeah, exactly. And I love that. And I love the
12.
fact 12. So that is a success.
Yeah.
So what's the damage for that?
3 double to 6. Is that enough to smear him?
It is. I mean, he is looking blooded, and he sort of like rolls out the way very slowly. But you definitely get in. You hear a horrible sort of Wilhelm scream of really, again, in a cinematic moment, he sort of gets up and then half his face is sort of blackened and smoked, and the hair from one end does not look very cool anymore.
So is he gone? Is he done?
No, he's still up. I'm
going to push it then because I want to finish him off. So I'm going to push myself to re-roll to get higher.
Oh my god!
Flea was also at the Battle of Haven's Ridge.
Yeah, I've got a 19.
A 19, that is a success still.
Does that add to damage?
No, because I think because you had a 15 before, right?
No, 12 before.
A 12 before, so it's in the same range. Because 11 to 19 is
you need
the
a
same.
20 to double.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah. Not quite.
But you know what? I love the fact that you were like, yeah, fuck it, why not?
Can I just shoot off his other leg?
Yeah,
yeah, just do that.
For Flave, yeah, I think with that damage, it's easy enough to do that. But I mean, they're still sort of like army crawling to.
Are they crawling away still? Are they literally walking away?
Stress.
Yes, you do. Yes.
So they're not dead yet.
15, you're fine. They're not dead yet. They were. So this is the thing. Obviously, pilots have full health. So even though that you destroyed the mech, they because they rolled all right, they managed to get out of the mech with a broken bone is what they rolled. So they're busy trying to get over, but they were still at sort of full health per se. They was injured.
And my laser, you know what it's like. Gets a bit of dust in the firing mechanism. It just goes off.
I've for those of you who've read this, I've just run out of bubble gum.
So it's my go to pick, right? I'm going to pass it to Blackjack, I think.
Do it. Yeah.
Oh, we're doing this. We're going for
oh yes.
Yeah, it's like I run out of bubble gum. Yeah. I'm not very useful at doing anything else. I'm going to jump out.
Yep.
I'm just going to walk over to him. It's like, you see this boat? I was saving the bubble gum to fix something, but you've made me spit it out in anger, mate. And I'm just going to kick him in the head with my metal foot. Like, you have just really annoyed me because I cannot stop him from fucking screaming, and it ruins my new shiny beatbox. What are they called? Fucking Beats headsets. Damn you!
More branding on this show. We had Apple, we had HP, now we've got Beats.
Sponsor us!
All right, please.
Sponsor us, and we'll all write for Leyline, and we'll get you all loads of money for it.
I don't know these people. I can't make any of those guarantees.
Servo foot. I've got to be engaged. It only does 2 damage, but
2
I just
damage.
want to kick him in the head.
What did you roll though?
I'm about to roll.
Oh, okay, go for it.
I rolled a 13. Now, do I push this?
Up to you, because obviously it's you're within the 11.
No, I'm not going to push it. I'm going to see if I squish his head first.
Okay, so it's just 2 damage.
Yep.
Okay, so you go, and there's a horrible scream as you sort of kick him in the ribs, and something definitely breaks. But he is still up. It's slowly but surely. It's like
I'm pushing myself. Will you just fucking die?
Take the
Remember, if you're pushing yourself before you roll, you've got to get a 20 before you can actually do any more damage with it.
Yeah.
Pushing yourself doesn't let you just do more damage.
No, I'm still doing it. I don't care.
You know what? I think we are the bad guys.
No. Right?
No.
We are war heroes.
These are Corpo bastards who've made this world. They've committed bigger crimes than this.
So what did you? So David, are you pushing the roll?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. So I've done the first roll.
Yes.
And I'm going to push myself to try and attack again.
Yep. So that's so you roll the d20 again.
Yeah, and I rolled a 6.
Oh, I'll take that damage back. So you go to kick and you accidentally kick a rock instead, and you hurt your own foot.
No. I'm using my metal foot.
Okay.
So my metal foot I miss him. It hits the rock and it gets stuck between two rocks, and I'm now just like going, "Fuck you! Just fuck you, Socrates!"
I love that. I love that as a consequence for you. So you are now currently stuck as this person is trying to desperately get away from you. It's now my turn.
You get all three
Quite a
of
lot
your
of
goes.
turns.
Yeah, I'm now dead.
Ooh. I think Blackjack would feel this first, but all of you would realize that the ground itself is starting to rumble. And you look across, so again, the cinematic style Blackjack, up at the cargo, and you can see there was a crack in it starting to widen, bigger, and then suddenly out of it appears a ginormous mech. But it is covered in something, this horrible sort of like silvery sort of metal that's overshotting it, and it looks like it is acting on its own. And oh yes,
And
the
fucking
nanites
nits get everywhere.
have woken up. So on this behemoth nanites go.
It's definitely not using heads and shoulders. This thing.
Oh, it is. It's a 2-in-1. So
We have reverse gears on our mechs, don't we?
I'm catatonic. I'm catatonic for the next 10 minutes.
10
I can't
minutes.
do anything.
Commodore's out of commission for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And so are you really, Socrates? As you've just gone completely haywire.
Is this guy's uniform still intact and wearable?
I mean,
His jacket might be.
blazing off his leg.
Yeah, shorts. Summer uniform.
Were we
Alright,
meant to
so-
survive this by any chance?
God.
I mean, you took out some distractions. So this sort of meld behemoth sort of appears out, and if mechs could roar, this one does, like this whole.
Oh my God.
And
Titan horns.
instead
That's a
of
tight sound system, mate.
yeah,
I
the
can
bass
improve
that
it for
comes
you if
through.
you want, if you don't kill me.
The arms itself, they're not arms anymore. They're almost like tendrils, this horrible sort of silvery nanite sort of thing going up and down. And it goes, and it's going to make 4 attacks. So let's see. It's gonna attack the other wyvern. To see how that goes. That's a 19, so that's gonna hit. That's gonna take out the wyvern. So it just sort of eats through it.
What?
And sort of, and you see the nanites sort of eat through it, and you just hear again screams from the cabin as the lieutenant in there is slowly sort of destroyed. Although wait, they do have an escape hatch. They got a 19, so they do manage to make it out of the escape hatch and they start running as far as they can. The second attack it will do. So who was I? Oh, Socrates, you were.
Yep. Yep. This is fair.
It's pronounced so great.
It is a 14 to hit. So yes, that's a success. You take 3 damage as these sort of tendrils sort of come in close to you.
Okay.
And sort of again on your sort of windscreen, you see like these little, almost like a flood of these little nanites going over the screen and stuff. And the glass maybe cracking slightly, but it's safety glass, doesn't crack all the way. It's gonna take an attack on. There's 2 little things down on the ground. So it's gonna attack the sergeant first. Attack the sergeant first. 16. So yeah, the sergeant's gone. You just see the sergeant screaming. He's like trying to make away, and this whole tendril just sort of comes down and just flattens him in front of Blackjack. The tendril rises up.
Thank you. I'm okay. I was trying to
It's
help.
even worse because you're stuck.
Yes.
A 17 hits. So Blackjack, you take 6 points of tendril damage as this whole thing
I'm not dead.
hits on you. No, but it was pretty close. So yes, that is its go, but it's sort of moving around, and again, the way it sort of whirls around as well, the tendrils are sort of all going around it 360 style. I'm going to choose because we've only got the 2 other mechs. They're going to make rolls. 15.
I legit have a
1.
really good idea about what to do next turn. Legit a good idea, not suicidal idea.
So the one that rolled a 15 just goes, nope. It's like clearly trying to. You can again on the comms. You can hear like, "We need backup. The knights, they've escaped." As that one sort of goes, and then the natural one, the one's just going to turn around and go, "Ah!" suppressing fire at the nanite.
He's Cyril Figgis is this.
Pretty much. But misses completely. And as they're sort of shooting, there's something you hear like as their guns jam. That was a failure on their part.
As a rules question,
yes.
are the nanites counted as a system or a module?
Ooh, yours. I guess because you're looking at it just now, and when you were sort of doing your sort of research, they have not appeared on your system. You have no idea. This is, and thinking back to the beginning of the scenario, you did hear that there was some experimental new tech which might not be available for salvaging yet.
Oh well, I just had a fun idea, but it's not going to work then.
Top of the turn, I'm not going to be that DM that makes me go again. I'm going to make Rob, because you had no idea. So go for it, Rob.
Got an idea. I am going to swing my salvaging arm in an arc, and I want to pick up Blackjack, pull him, and drop him onto Commodore's mech. Because I assume we can pilot each other's mechs, right? They are running these scenes, and I realise that would leave the mantis behind, but it would mean you not dying.
My foot is stuck.
But that will come off.
True, it is a mechanical foot.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm there for.
We've got plenty of scrap. We'll make you a better foot.
With a fan built into it. I'll swing, the arm to basically grab Blackjack by literally the scruff of the neck, pull him, and then drop him on Commodore's cockpit so he can take control of the Atlas.
Don't roll a 1. Do not roll a 1.
Commodore's dead as well.
Yeah, roll that D12. D20 for me, please. Yeah, I'm changing my rules.
14.
14, that is a success.
Brilliant.
And you don't get any bad consequence from that, so you don't rip off any leg or anything like that. You just go, and you're used to this as well. You've been practicing all game, getting the right salvage, and now you're like...
I'm dead good at those fairground games.
Yeah.
With the,
what I will say is, when I got hit by the tendril, it knocked me out and it ripped my foot off, which is why there's no issue with it. So I've lost.
I love that. That's fantastic. I just love that idea that you've done this several times before, Flea, getting other players out. Just like, no, come on.
The floor is my master.
Swing it round onto Commodore and then shout my best Vasquez, Marines, we are leaving, or Hicks, isn't it? Marines, we are leaving, and then start moving.
Fantastic. Easy enough. And there's no attacks of opportunity or anything like that, so you're easy to get out from that thing. Brilliant. Who would you like to go next?
I'm going to push all of us because I think the faster I think so great need to move. You need to move, really.
Yeah. Okay, Socrates, it's your go. So again, you had this creature. Okay, Socrates, the modern futuristic version of Socrates, a Greek philosopher. Yes, creature, again, that you can see the tendrils are smacking you, your mech in the face, and it is in front of you, but you have an action, or you've got several actions, and you've got movement. What would you like to do?
So first and foremost, don't much like being punched in the face by a tendril. So that tendril's coming off.
Do it.
With my anthropomorphic arm. Well, I say, I'm being narrative. I'm not sure it's actually going to come off. So
you gave
that's a 17.
You've just also given me control of a railgun, Rob.
Yes.
You do what you want with it. I'm leaving now.
17 is a success. So you managed to take that.
3 points of structure. If it has structure, I don't know if it has HP.
It is like this. It is like a construct. It is like a mech underneath it, but it is being maneuvered by these nanites essentially. So it is more aggressive than usual. It is almost like a mind of its own, but it does take the damage. So
I'm worried that it's just going to pick the arm up and put it back on again.
And then for my next action, I will. Can I just make a D20 roll just to see what mindset Socrates is in right now? Because I feel like Baines is dead, but also I'm hopped up on stims for the next 10 minutes minimum.
Absolutely. So what action? What are the rules and parameters for this for the just for the viewers at home, just so we know?
I guess what I'm asking the dice gods to tell me how I should act next, because I can't decide whether or not Socrates would go like. Try to distract this thing and keep his team safe, or is lost to the stims. And on that natural one that I just rolled,
wow!
I think I'm going to take my next swing against it with the arms.
Do it.
So I'll take the 16 to hit again. So that's another.
takes that out. So you barrel into this thing, and the arms itself, like the tendrils, they drop big, sort of almost like piping, essentially. That it's sort of picked up and stuff like, and it is losing its grip, but it is still standing. Again, the horrible nanite more, like, and inside its little chair, like a tongue, like, like I don't know. But yeah, still standing, but has taken 2 hefty hits from you.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna push Blackjack, who's inside Commodore. To go, because I know Commodore's out of Commodore's. Yeah,
you would have heard Commodore going, and then just like you can actually
radio silence.
Yeah, radio silence, and you know, Socrates, that Commodore's really mad at you because you went without like a plan, and this has happened before, and you know.
I had a plan. It was to kill Sergeant Baines. I was explicit on this plan.
Yeah, but the plan didn't include a nanite behemoth coming out from the ground.
Yeah, no, it did not. So I will push Blackjack, but I know that they are inside Commodore's mech, so I guess push Blackjack and they'll be operated using Commodore's mech, I guess.
I'll say, because obviously again I don't want Viv to be out of the action, that they can work together on Blackjack's turn. So yeah, that'll be fine.
I was going to splash Commodore in the face with liquid to kind of get them around and get them.
I'm not sure that's one that needed the quotes.
Well, I seem to be leaking. Because I seem to have lost a foot. So
okay. We were thinking definitely other liquids. Anyway.
No, I wasn't. No. Not that kind of game.
I mean, it's almost 10. So.
Yeah.
All right.
Watershed.
Well, so actually, just to check, is that the end of your turn and you're passing it to Blackjack? Just to check.
So yeah, I've done my actions. Did you say there are no attack of opportunities in this?
No, it makes it very simple combat.
I will retreat back from this thing to sort of get back towards Commodore, simply by dint of the fact that it will then have to come closer and deal with the two of us, because I had charged forward to deal with the other things anyway.
Fantastic, cool. And Blackjack's next.
Cool. As I say, I will wake up Commodore. You feel a warm trickle over your face of thick, gooey, red stuff. Wakes you up. It's like, he's calming down. He's calming down now. Shall we shoot that big thing? Because it hurts.
And yeah, Commodore, you won't be able to take any actions this turn again for to rule coolness. But you can see this horrible behemoth with the nanites. Like you sort of snap back. So I guess you and Blackjack can work together on what your mech can do.
Press that button. I point towards a very big red button on the underside of my panel.
Yep.
Boom button.
Can I also do a well actually?
I'm going to say, for the sake of this, because of the timing of it, you can only do one action. Like if you're working the ship, I guess it's up to you. Do you want to?
Well, the well actually is not an action. It's me knowing shit about things.
Okay.
It's one action point. You are able to answer questions about modules, systems, mechs, or technology.
Okay. Yeah, go for it. You know what? Use your points now.
Yeah. And then I'll just turn around and press the big red button.
Cool. All right. So what would you like to know?
I need to roll the dice. This is the one where you might get to lie at me.
Oh, great. Roll low.
No, you don't get to lie at me. I rolled a 13, so I get to ask you 2 questions, and you must answer them truthfully.
Absolutely, go for it.
How much health does it have left?
Looking at it, you think it's got about half. Like bits of it are falling off, but it's like almost like, it's like a sea monster. It's almost like picking itself up, but then falling down again.
Is there a way is there a way for me to turn off the nanites?
No, you're looking at it, but just the difficulty of the tech is so new to you. You'd have to properly study it, and you don't have time to do that right now.
Right. So we're going to have to kill it or run away. Cool. I then press the big red button.
Yep. Okay. So with the big red button, what do we have to do, Commodore? What's the plan?
It's 3 energy points from me.
Yep.
This is my anti-mech mind layer.
Ooh.
Lays a series of anti-mech cluster mines in an area to deny it from the enemy and cause tremendous damage. Choose an area within close range to lay your cluster mines in. Roll the die when triggered.
Fantastic, easy enough. So you do that, and almost underneath the undercarriage of the Commodore of Zemek, and you just essentially just drop a lot of horrible cluster bombs, which probably have some sort of flea sort of message on them all, sort of insignia. Easy enough. And then are you moving away?
Yeah.
Let's run away. Can we move to Mantis so I can get into Mantis?
Yep, I'd say that's easy enough. And I guess on your next turn you can get into it, essentially.
But as we move away, can we also just hurl verbal abuse at it so it comes after us and might walk through the minefield?
But reading the mech mine thing, it doesn't actually have to come to you. It's what you roll determines what happens within the area you've chosen. So there's close, and then there's obviously engaged. Mm-hmm. It's in close at the moment because we moved back.
Yeah.
So you could, if you roll well on this, if you roll a 20, you destroy everything
in the area.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, let's move away and then roll a dice.
Well, you roll the dice when triggered, so it rolls it when it comes over. So I'll put them like in front of us.
Yep.
And then, so if it comes towards, then it gets boomed.
So this is why I'm saying we want to egg it on, because I want to pass it on to Fiona.
Worth remembering, if it moves on, I will be in the same thing as it.
I'm going to say for the ease of it, like you're all backing away, so you won't get it. It's clear that this has been made for the creature, so I'm not going to get you. I'm not going to do that whole like who's in what combat zone, etc. So yeah, so it would definitely affect the creature. So you're all moving back.
Theatre of the mind kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. David, so what are you shouting at the creature for it to come towards? And I want to hear what are you saying?
That's not nanites. You're useless. You're the worst tech I've ever seen. I could hack you on a Sunday with a hangover. I'm just not doing it because you're not worth it.
Whoa. Oh, big words there. I just wanted, I like they're going to move forward anyway. I just wanted to hear what you were going to say. So
you're not worth my effort.
Brutal, not worth it, Blackjack. So you hop over onto your mech, and in the next turn you'll be able to get into it and move back. Yep. It is now the Meld Behemoths go, and it is going to and sort of move towards you, going over the cluster stuff. So, Commodore, please roll your d20.
Come on, hit a 20 now.
If you roll a 1, you have to push it.
Yes.
It's an 11. It's an 11.
Is a success. It is a success.
That gives us deal 4 SP damage to everything in the area.
All right. So it is, and it's almost like a flash sort of grenade. It just goes around, and you can see bits of the plaza falling into a sort of not a crevasse, sort of just a big hole in the ground, a sinkhole essentially, and things like. And you can see it's and it is barely clinging on. Again, bits of it are just falling off. Like a bit of the leg is sort of like the nanites are still trying to get up on it. It is still standing, and it is now on fire, and it's coming slowly towards you. Yeah. So even then, it didn't quite do it, but it's still coming towards you. I'm aware it has gone 10 o'clock, so I guess we'll just do a quick fire last round, and I'm going to go back to top. I'm going to give it to Rob. Rob, Flea, what are you doing?
Flea is fleeing. I'm hearing explosions and the crying behind, so I've rescued my friends. It's up to them to extract themselves.
Yep.
I'm going to move off, and if there's anything cool on the way, I'm going to pick it up my arm. But I put on the music, put the fan on, and I'm just going now. I'm just like...
Easy enough. You don't need to do a roll for that. You're just cool. Willing to keep on going. Fantastic. Who are you passing on to? Yeah.
I will pass it to Commodore.
You see your cluster bombs have had an effect, but you're like, it's dicey. You don't know if your next another attack will finish it, or if you need to get out of there.
Oh God, I do have them. Do have this last ability that I haven't used yet,
Ooh.
Which is
do it.
Bulwark. You provoke all nearby enemies to give your allies cover to retreat.
Ooh.
If you're in combat, one enemy within long range immediately gets a chance to attack you. You and any willing allies can then safely and expeditiously disengage from a fight and leave the scene.
Oh,
sounds good. So what do you have to spend for that one?
I spend 2 AP.
Brilliant.
It's no roll, but It does get to attack me.
Fantastic, yeah.
And so I sort of like, I guess I just sort of throw Blackjack sort of out toward Mantis and be like, get the fuck out of here. And then
I can
sort of
fly!
like swerve to sort of just like fill, to sort of get in front of everyone else and just fucking go.
Fantastic.
Let's just leave.
Let's just go. Leave
Yeah.
Socrates, you had something then. Saw you.
So if you're using it from your mech, it uses energy points instead. Otherwise,
you
the
can
creature
use.
Yeah, but if you don't, the creature gets to attack you, the pilot. Because if it's not attacking, it won't attack your vessel. It gets a free attack against you if it's within long range. And mech damage does double damage to pilots.
So you can definitely still do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've got the health to tank it. I'm just letting you know that it will be health, not your heavy armor.
Yeah.
Then yeah, let's spend those energy points, I suppose.
Brilliant. So it'll attack. If it hits, it will attack your thing. Fantastic. It'll do that now. As you sort of go, you sort of swim away. It sort of reaches out to try to get Blackjack. But it goes for you. It was a 17. So you take 3 structural points damage. As again, the nanites are, like go across your windscreen, almost like a really awful car wash. And it's just, and yeah, pretty bad.
Except one more thing.
Yeah, go for it.
Armor plating. When you are hit by an attack, you may destroy your armor plating and prevent the damage from the hit.
Fantastic.
Nice.
You do that as a reaction, don't you? Fantastic. Very good. Very good. Very good play. So again, like a car wash, it sort of goes over and you feel nothing. You feel fucking cool that you had that installed last time. Very good. Very good. All right, and then, because you've done your action, are you moving away as well, or are you just waiting for everyone else to get out?
So the move says, you and any willing allies can then safely and expeditiously disengage from the fight and leave the scene.
Perfect. Easy enough then.
So I don't know if someone does want to blow it up, but we have that giving everyone plenty cover to get out the way.
As I'm running away, I want
seems
to
like
blow it
Commodore
up.
sacrifices their own plating, but gets to leave the scene, so they get out.
Exactly. Cool.
I want to try and blow it up on the way out as I'm running away. It took my foot. I'm annoyed about this.
I think the ground took your foot. Anyway, but yeah, Commodore. I'm not one to split hairs over this, but Commodore, who is going next? And you've got Socrates and Blackjack, or the big mech itself.
Blackjack.
Cool.
Go on.
I'm
Go
going
on.
to.
How have we been? How's the movements been? Is that fair? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to spend. I've got so many energy points left. This is stupid. So I'm going to spend another 3 energy points. I've spent 10 so far, and I've still got 5 left.
Amazing.
So I'm going to reactor overload it.
Ooh. Okay.
Basically, as an action, you overload the reactor of a target mech within long range. They must roll on the reactor overload table.
Fantastic. Let me get that up so I can see.
As I'm flying through the air, as Commodore has yeeted me out of the combat, I'm like, fine, fuck you. I've got a big red button too.
You finish that final level on Candy Crush, and you're like, boop. Fantastic. All right, rolling on the reactor overload table. That is a 10. So module overload. One of the modules is overloaded and destroyed. Fantastic. Let me look. All right, you can see as you do that, there's like a spark of electricity that comes from the back, and you can hear it sort of roar in pain, and something just drops off the back of it, like a huge sort of module, essentially. You can't tell what it does, but it definitely seems to have had an impact.
Yeah, and then I'm just going to run away. I'm going to bugger off. Fuck it.
Yeah, easy enough. All right, I will give it over to Socrates next.
Yep.
What would you like to do, Socrates?
I mean, I rolled a 1. I'm in this. So I think looking back to this hangar that split open, by chance do I see like a trail of the nanites connecting this mech to the actual hangar itself?
No, you could see whatever it was. It came out and it's just taken over this huge big mech.
Golden. Okay, then it's going to be the hands. Yep. It's going to catch these hands.
These hands are also weapons.
Okay, that's a 13 on the first one.
It's a success.
Okay, so that's 3 points of structural damage to it.
Fantastic. So as you do that, before you do your next one, you do that and you just, I don't know, your arms go to it and you just sort of crack it open like an egg.
Okay.
And you hear the things scream. The nanites drop for a second and there's a moment where it's all quiet. And then you can see suddenly there's a reforming and then out of the ground, 2 smaller constructs of meld come back. So you've broken 1, which has now gone into 2.
Go. Go, leave.
We don't mind leaving him behind, do we? We're okay with coming back with one less.
The brawler who's so and they're there sort of looking at you, ready, like almost like a sentinel style, like Matrix.
How much smaller have they gone to?
I'd say by half the size, but there's 2 of them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You did roll a 1.
I did roll a 1.
Yeah.
I'm really upset right now, but I feel like I kind of have to. So the missile pod was jammed, but you expressly said that it wasn't. It was only jammed for that round.
Exactly.
So for my second action, I think I'm gonna go for sort of like as the 1 becomes 2, just be like, not fair, and just like begins to backpedal, but as it's doing it, just launches a rocket straight at the floor of these things, and it's just running backwards.
Nice, do it.
Okay, that is a 14, so that's
success.
A success, yeah.
Right, what's the damage?
So 3 damage to one of them.
Yep.
You know, dealer's choice which one, and then 1 damage to the other one in melee range next.
Fantastic. Yeah. So you're like, not fair.
Yeah.
And it sort of goes out and it explodes, and one of them definitely takes the full impact of it, still stands again, bits of it on fire, and then the other one less of an impact, and both of them sort of, again, I don't know how they have mores, but they do, they sort of
yeah,
and they start going towards you on mech legs and tendrils, still coming towards you at a lot slower pace, but they're still coming towards you.
Yeah, and then use my movement, I'll move backwards and pass on to yourself.
Brilliant. So for ease, you easily, all of you, thanks to Commodore, managed to easily escape the situation, running away from this thing. What I want to know is, are you going straight back to the crawler, or are you going to try and outrun it in other ways? Like, you passed quite a few places. I just want to know, what is the plan?
I'm making a beeline straight for the crawler. Even if these guys don't, I'm striking out on my own to go back.
Fantastic.
I'm basically out of energy, so I need to go back.
Yep, absolutely. You're hot-tailing it back. What about the rest of you?
I'm following Flea. I'm going straight home.
Yep. Socrates, Blackjack?
Just because I've got a crap ton of energy points left, I'm going to follow behind everybody and try and Trojan it as a final do or die. Like, I'm feeling faint. I'm feeling the blood loss from losing the leg. It's pissed me off enough, and I can't hack it. I can't hack the nanites, but I can hack the mech that it's engaged with.
Fantastic.
So I'm going to try and Trojan one of the mechs.
So could you read that out for us, because we've not come across that just yet?
Oh, it's what I did when I made the doggy.
Course.
Did the doggy.
You did, yeah, the groveling thing. Great, so I guess roll for it.
Yeah, as long as I don't roll a 1, I'm all right. Because then it takes control of me.
Ooh.
You did it.
Amazing.
Push yourself. Push yourself.
No, don't do it. This is more fun.
This is way better.
No, I'm not pushing myself. I'm letting this happen. I am letting this happen. I am going to take a photo and put it in the chat just to prove.
Amazing.
Are you still on foot, Blackjack?
No, he's
I'm in.
Went back in the mech.
Definitely, I reckon, though, surely the nanites one's got to do that thing where they go into the mouth and everything. It's like a full-on replication thing.
No, because I'm hacking. I'm trying to hack, so it's at a distance. But yeah.
It's going to take control of your mech, essentially. So you're desperately like, you're trying to do it, but you don't pay attention, and one of them sort of not sneaks up on you, because you can't really sneak up on mechs, and you look up and you can just see nanites are getting into your system and changing it, and you can see it's haywire and stuff like that, and it's starting to turn around, and it's looking straight towards your friends. You think in the next turn it's going to fire upon your friends.
Well, it might do. I only have a laser, but so basically I lose control of my mech for a turn, and the mediator chooses its actions.
Yeah, it's
it's
ready
the end
to
of
do
it.
that.
So
yeah, exactly. And then Socrates, what do you want to do as your sort of final act?
Seeing it turn on Blackjack, Commodore and Flea are fleeing back to the crawler. I'm not, because I made a promise.
Yeah.
But to deal with that promise, I have to deal with this thing. So I'm going to lead it to the tar-like water.
Ooh, excellent.
And I'm going to try and basically drown this thing or destroy this thing using the water. So I figure that is that how I would spend my last action is ensuring that goes ahead to do this. Most because I've got an image of sort of Socrates sort of brawler dragging these two things down to the bottom while Socrates sort of leaps out and carrying two children across back to the crawler without Brawler, because Brawler had to take care of this thing.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, again, because again, rule of cool, and it is, getting past, like I said, roll me one last D20 and see how successful this is.
You got a freaking 1, David. You got a freaking 1, okay? Which means that by rule of cool and dice gods,
you get a 1 as well.
This has to be a 20. Okay, I'm going to push myself.
Excellent. All right. Ben? Well, we're going down.
This doesn't work, Ben. The screen.
Is it all...
Is that kind of?
What's
slowly coming up to the camera? Is that a 20?
It looks like a 20.
Can anyone?
It's a bloody 20. I don't believe this.
Really?
It's fantastic.
I didn't make these rules, but the dice gods chose me for a reason.
Amazing. So easy enough. Again, a very cool moment. It's like, get out of here. You sort of like, you use your arms, you take both of them, both these mechs, you pull them off Blackjack. You can see these sort of nanits sort of like falling down and stuff like that, but it's not enough of them to sort of control your mech anymore. And everyone could just see Socrates like pulling them towards the lake, this sort of horrible black tar, with the mysterious sort of component now missing from it. And none of the wastelanders there around to see it. And you just see Socrates pulling them in with huge strength and a big sort of, with all the modules and the stim packs and stuff. And you can just see, again, horrible sort of, as the bubbles sort of go up, these horrible mechs again screaming like, sort of like dinosaurs in the tar. It's like, quiet now, quiet. And they sink down, and you deal with that. There's a couple more explosions and stuff, and you can hear in the distance noises coming from the park, noises coming from this. But for now, you all get out of the Hope Falls and make it back to your mech. And that is where we're going to end tonight's one shot of Salvage Union. Thank you so much. Amazing work, players.
As a point, that dice roll, that was a 1 that went to a 20.
Amazing.
Nice.
Oh my God.
Very, very cool.
So that was,
hey, that's how the narrative goes. So
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Fiona. That was great.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey, I could not have done it without my wonderful players. And thank you. Please go support Salvage Union on Kickstarter. Run this scenario in many different ways. Maybe you'd even do it better than I did, because you can. I'm going to go round the players because I'm sure we all have stuff quickly to plug. So please stay to the end so we can do that. I'm going to go in the order we introduce people in. So we're going to start with, I believe it was David first, wasn't it?
I was going to go last because it's my stream.
You know what? Fine. We'll move on to the other side. And Viv, can you say if there's anything to plug, anything like that? Where can we find you, and what are you up to?
You can find me on Twitter at ocean12_W. And you can find the games that I write at genderphage.itch.io.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. I will go down to Flea or Rob. What are you up to, my friend? What podcasts are you on? I hear you're on most of them.
I'm on a couple of podcasts. So I'm Rob from the Realm of Fire podcast, which is mainly a Warhammer-based podcast. But I have a couple of episodes on What Am I Rolling at this point, and a Numenera one coming, and an Interest Spy one to be recorded.
Yep.
So yeah, you'll see me on her one, the much more popular one than mine. But if you want to hear about Warhammer, What Am I Rolling? It's good, isn't it? It's good.
It's all right. It's all right. Thank you very much.
All right, cheers, Fiona.
Yeah, cheers. Thanks, mate.
Yeah, thanks.
Oh, great. Wonders. Thanks, mate. Going over to Ben Socrates.
Hello, lovely people. Yeah, so I'm Ben. You can find me on Twitter at Watch Aitken. I'm a professional writer for games, and I currently have a couple of things that are coming out just before Christmas. We have the Tradesfolk Compendium, a collection of subclasses, spells, and various other things. If you want to play someone who actually works for a living in D&D.
What? People have jobs in D&D? That's not how that game works.
That sounds like
lies.
It's an admin.
I mean, you say that, but then you've got the College of Clothiers, which is one of the classes that I wrote, who literally are the fashion designers from the Emperor's New Clothes.
Amazing.
So if you two want to topple the current system by insulting people's clothes, check out that later this year.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Ben. And then over to Blackjack. David, what are we on your stream?
Yeah,
what's your podcast about?
I wonder whose stream we're on. Whose channel are we going on here?
Oh no.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. I'm David. I run games on this Twitch every now and then. It's not. We try to do it regularly, but real life gets in the way, so things happen. We played an amazing game of Vesson yesterday where we told a Winter's Tale, a Winter's Feast. There was a little bit of fun going on in that. We have an Alien game going on at the moment where Fiona is desperately trying not to die. She had an alien drop on her head and somehow she survived.
I'm as shocked as you are.
Yeah, that's because I had to roll dice.
What a lad!
I know.
We have a dystopian vampire game going on, which is it's my version of Vampire the Masquerade, and it's very much not Vampire the Masquerade.
I skin werewolves.
Yes, it's a bit of a fun, bit of a laugh. Next year we have a couple of things planned. Ben is going to run stuff. Rob, I'm going to get you to run some more stuff. Fiona's obviously going to run some stuff.
Yeah.
Me and Fiona, we've got a few things planned for here and What Am I Rolling, I hope.
Yeah.
Chat is asking, when is the next Alien?
Was meant. Yeah, we were meant to have one last week,
Cat.
but
Cat's my friend. Hi, Cat.
Life got in the way.
As soon as essentially. I think we were supposed to be last Thursday, and unfortunately things dropped at the last minute. I had to go find a PCR test because I had to come back from the States at the last minute.
Yeah,
So
and James was ill as well.
Follow their Twitters is the best way to find out about things, I guess.
Yeah, we've also got. What else have we got going on? Nothing else at the moment on here. So we're taking a break over Christmas. Then obviously I'm also the Drunken Storyteller folklore podcast. Find me there. I'm also part of Darker Days Radio, where we talk about horror-themed RPGs as well. And I'm a freelance writer as well, written for all the Warhammer RPGs and a few other ones as well. So you can find some of my work in those places.
Fantastic.
And that's me.
That is David. Thank you very much. And I will finally finish off the stream by saying, hello, I've been your mediator for this
Goodbye,
evening.
isn't it?
Hello, my name is Fiona. I run the What Am I Rolling podcast, which is a twice monthly RPG one-shot podcast. As always, it's going very well. These folks have featured on it a few times. Rob has run stuff for me. Viv has been on it with Bluebeard's Dice, I was going to say. Bluebeard's Bride, as is David. And obviously, I'm sure Ben will have you on at some point.
You can't keep me away.
Exactly. So comment, if you want to try out some new RPG systems, and try it with different players and just have a lot of fun. That's what this podcast is. We've done so many things. We've done Vert recently, thanks to Rob. We've done, like I said, Bluebeard's Bride. We've done some one-page one-shots, the whole range of stuff. So if you ever want to find out, what does that RPG sound like and what are the main mechanics, that's the podcast for you. I also run, in case you're like, I hate all other RPG systems. I just want to play with some dungeons and some dragons. Well, I do a lore podcast called the DM's Book Club, where every week we take some D&D lore and go, this is nice. How can we improve it and put it into different RPG campaigns? So you can listen to that as well. So that's What Am I Rolling and the DM's Book Club. And you can find them wherever you listen to podcasts. And just to say thank you so much to Leyline Press, because we recently had an interview with them, which is now out on the What Am I Rolling website. And thank you so much for everyone that watched tonight. And thank you to Leyline Press for promoting it and stuff. I appreciate, sudden last minute stream, you're like, hey, it's our game. So really appreciate it. And thank you so much. Please go support the game, go join the Discord, have fun, and I don't know, keep mecking. There we go. That's what I'll end on. Keep on mecking.
Keep on
Thank you so much.
rather than keep on mecking.
Bye, folks.
There's a thing here where I'm just going to keep you all doing this because I've got control of the thing. Everybody has to wave for hours.
Help! Help!
The What Am I Rolling podcast was created, recorded, and edited by me, Fiona Howat. This episode's players were David, Ben, Viv, and Rob. This episode's RPG was Salvage Union, a post-apocalyptic mech tabletop role-playing game, published by Leyline Press. You can find out more information about Salvage Union on the Leyline Press's website. That's leyline.press. The Kickstarter for Salvage Union is still open until early January 2022, so go and back it to get your own copy. The theme music was 8-Bit March by Twin Musicon of twinmusicon.org, licensed under a Creative Commons 4.0 license. If you want to find out more about the podcast, check out the website. That's www.wairpodcast.com. Fancy getting in touch? Email the podcast at whatamirollingpodcast@gmail.com. Finally, follow the podcast on Twitter and Instagram at WAIR_podcast for the latest news on upcoming episodes. And remember, adventurers need not apply.